let's go. Yeah, how's it going, mate? That's the new jingle.
Is it?
I've just come up
Should
with.
I just get rid of everything that
How's
comes before
it
then?
going, mate? Yeah. I always wanted to pursue a career as a singer. Do you know what I mean?
Really? You too?
Yeah, right. I remember when we were younger.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it up. I remember
Oh
you thought you were a
fuck.
sick singer. You were like, oh my god.
Shut up.
Yeah, you did. Don't even try to deny it. Am I
I
lying or not?
mean, nah. I thought I could make a career out of singing. Okay, there you got me.
See, I told you. I was like, I remember we used to do this thing. I don't. Okay, let's before we get into our child. No, you know what? I need to tell everyone this. So when we were younger, we went to this school called LSL. It was called Lahore School of Learning. I know, really, really intellectual name.
I was afraid you were going to bring this up, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. Obviously, it's like gold. So
It's cringe, man. Just thinking about it is just giving me the heebie-jeebies.
yeah, but like when some memories are cringy, but then the further back they go, like the older you get, the less
No,
cringy they become.
no, that's not how it works this time. No, because I
course.
remember this. Okay, go on with the story,
So
and
we
then
used
I'll
to.
provide my
So,
input.
so, so we used to go to the school, Lahore School of Learning. As I said, amazing name, sarcastically. Oh, every year we used to do this LSL show thing, and was it in the LSL show that we sang something? Did we sing anything in the LSL show? But it was just like this like
No, we
yearly
didn't.
thing
We
where we kind of like,
auditioned
oh
to
yeah,
the head coordinator.
oh
That
man,
okay, we've got an idea. Hamza can play the guitar. I can sing.
And-
Why don't we just do a singing number? Because the plays are getting boring. And
Yeah.
then, fuck me.
What happened? Did we just get shut down? We were like, nah, you guys are shit.
No. She was actually pretty nice. She said, "Okay, I'm up for it. Why don't you guys give me like an audition right now?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "No, you don't have a guitar. It's okay, you can sing." And you're just standing there looking at me, and I'm singing "Boulevard of Broken Dreams," and I'm just like, "Oh fuck me, I need to get out of here."
What was I supposed to
I
do?
just wanna
What,
drop down.
background, like guitar? Imaginary guitar? Would you have liked it if I did air guitar?
Strum with your mouth. I
Yeah,
would have preferred
okay.
that. That would have been like equally as cringe as me singing, and there were people behind us who were looking at me. What is this moron doing in the middle of the ground,
So embarrassing,
just
man.
singing to the head coordinator? Like, what's happening there?
Dude, honestly, I feel like everything we did was just so embarrassing back in the day. We thought we were just so cool. I don't know why. It was just so cringy, man. We just thought we were the shit. You thought you
Yeah.
were the shit.
We all did.
Yeah,
We're
we
all
did.
guilty of feeling that way.
Yeah, we did. I mean, yeah, whatever. So anyway, that was a little blast from
Anyway.
the past. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. One very important thing we need to remember for this podcast is keep it under 30 minutes. I did, to be honest, last time I didn't even realize how long we were talking for. It just went, an hour passed so quickly. So it's not our
Yeah.
fault. Our original plan was to keep it short, and I mean, remember you, Ramish, you were like, we have to keep it under 30 minutes. I was like, yeah. And shit, 50 minutes went by, and we were like, should we cut it? Nope, keep it all in.
Yeah, it's actually very difficult to edit around all of that. But yeah, the minute I realized was like at the 49th minute mark. That's when I realized, oh, okay, we're going way over.
Yeah, the thing is, even at 30
But yeah,
minutes.
this time,
Yeah,
30 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So, I mean, I haven't talked to you in a while. Well, I mean, we've been up and down on like WhatsApp or whatever, but you've been a bit busy.
Yeah,
I can tell. 'Cause
I've been
ignoring
really
me.
busy.
You just ignored me. Like, we had planned last week a day, and I was like, I was very nice and polite. I was like, you know what? He said he committed this day, but I know he's busy. I'm like, no pressure. Don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself out. We can do whenever you're ready. And then he ignored it. He straight up ignored that message. He was like, you know what? Fuck you, Humza. I hate you. And I was like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it, man. I just wasn't feeling talking to you then. Yeah. I mean, it comes a point in life when you realize there's other things to do. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know what happened then. I think it was just a moment of getting too many messages and then just drowning out.
Oh, wow.
But
Mr.
yeah, no,
Popularity over
I've
here.
been, yeah, exactly, man. You know me. Ever since I sang Boulevard of
Yeah.
Broken Dreams, it's just
And the thing is,
drowning
I need some
in.
context. Like, how old were we? Like, 12, 13, probably? Must be, like,
Yeah,
13.
I think it
And
was 14 because
maybe
didn't we sort of
14.
graduate at 15? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, man, it was so embarrassing. I think, thing is, we used to do a lot of embarrassing things. And I remember getting, like, red-faced so much in school because of the shit we used to do. It
Did
was
you?
just, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I'm pale as hell as well. So if I get embarrassed, I mean, I don't get embarrassed easily, especially now. Like, I'm very kind of unapologetically myself. And even Zaria, my fiance, she knows this as well. She's just like, I embarrass her on the regular, and I have no shame. I just do whatever I want when I want. You know, especially now at this age. But when I was younger, I remember I used to get so embarrassed, and I was just, the confident, charming man I am now. I was not when I was younger. I was just some, quiet little shy kid who thought he was a shit, but then got embarrassed after every single thing he did.
You know, that's so odd because I don't, when I look back at all the memories that we had in school,
Yeah.
I don't remember you being red faced because you were embarrassed or you just didn't sort of give off that feeling to any of us. I thought it was just, you're feeling hot or something, just turning red. And I thought we used to comment on your color as well. Like, why are you red all of a sudden? And we all used to think that you were feeling hot. I didn't
Really?
know it was embarrassment. That's news, yeah.
No. I mean, obviously, it was hot in Pakistan all the time. I probably was red from the heat most of the time, but I mean, I was red faced loads. I mean, I could tell myself. You know that feeling when you get like super flushed. I haven't got that feeling in a while now, which I'm thankful for because that feeling in public is the worst feeling ever, and there's no way you can control it as well.
I'm starting to sense a pattern though. So you were with me in school and you were red faced all the time and
Yeah.
then you're not with me all these years now and
Yeah,
you're not
I
having
broke free.
okay, so
I broke free.
exactly. So you need to be around me to feel that again.
Now, the thing is, I remember very specifically the time when my confidence shot up a little bit. I remember when I moved back to England, to the UK in 2010. So I went to A-level school. I was still very shy. Like, I had just moved out of Pakistan, Pakistani guy. I mean, I was just, and over here, you have this kind of like people from abroad who come to the UK, they're known as fresh, kind of like, super desi, super, kind of like, like how you say Pindu in Pakistan.
Yeah.
That version, the UK version, is like fresh. If you're fresh, you're kind of like from some like, Asian place and just like, you don't know how things work in the UK and everything. Nobody called me that or anything, but obviously you got that feeling like you're different, isn't it? And
Is it mostly because you don't just understand the words that most people are using at that age?
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember, like very well how difficult it was to understand like slang, like especially like East London slang. It's a very kind of like I don't even know how to explain it. There's words that don't make any sense, and people talk in a way where it's just all kind of gangster. I don't know what it is, and people think that some super gangster people. But I mean, I remember it was just so hard to understand. I didn't understand what was happening in school. But anyway, like after school, when I started uni, then I started, becoming my own kind of like developing my personality and characteristics and stuff. And then uni was a time when I kind of like got really comfortable and confident and started kind of like. But the thing is, it was overconfidence. I was so overconfident in uni, like no one can touch me kind of thing. And that was bad as well. I remember I look back now and I was like, oh my god, again, another cringy period in my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it was just more of an adaptation to being in a new
Yeah.
place all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You made some mistakes along the way. And
Yeah.
I hope you're normal now.
Mate, I am the most normal. Uh, hopefully. I don't know. I don't know what. How do you even define normal, man? But,
Because look, we're close and everything, but I think it's the same concept as long distance relationships, and people will tell you all the time that unless you're with someone, you don't really sort of get that connection. You don't really know much about them, and I think that's more the case with us as well, where we meet like what once every 2-3 years, and I've noticed this. I'm not sure if you have, that if you're here for like let's say 3 weeks, the first 2.5 weeks are just us sort of acclimatizing to each other and sort of going back and forth and seeing okay, so what's changed with us? What
Yeah,
hasn't?
like
What do we
what's
need to adjust in ourselves to sort of be on that same level? And then right about when you're about to leave, we're like fully gel, and then it's back to square one because you're like there for 2 more years.
That happens a lot, though. I mean, I feel like it's happened less as we get older, but I mean, especially when you're younger. I remember I have very vivid memories of when I was younger, and these people like my parents' friends' kids, or like some cousins I haven't met in a while. It's always like that very awkward initial couple hours when you go over to their house for the first time in like a couple of years, and you're just like, oh my god, I don't know if they're the same people. Like you have all these memories of like playing around and just like having fun with each other, but then at the same time you're just like really nervous, like should I go talk to them or whatever. And then after a while you're just like, oh wow, it's like back to normal again. But the thing is, it never
Yeah.
happened with us. It's always been a bit different because when we were apart, we were when was the first time? So when I moved back, and then the first time I came back was after a year. Then after like every 2-3 years, it wasn't that bad. With us, I always thought that we had like a different connection. Anyway, it wasn't as awkward or kind of like getting to kind of like basically like setting our bearings to each other. I can obviously
Yeah,
you can
yeah, yeah.
tell that you've had a different 2 years, I've had a different 2 years. Let's kind of like kick off where we left off, kind of thing. But we need a bit of time to kind of adjust ourselves to okay, where were we when we left off last time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a
No,
bit of that.
definitely, definitely.
But it's good. I enjoy that. I really enjoy that. And I mean, like, I try to keep in contact with. I know you are the worst person to keep in contact with. If you're not seeing him every day, Ramish is a ghost. Oh, but no, I try to kind of like keep in touch with everyone. But the thing is, I hate people. I'm not a big fan of people who get super offended if you don't ask how they are like every 2 seconds of the day. It's like people have different lives. It's fine if you don't talk to each other, even in like months or years, fine. But then when you do talk, it should be like your best mates. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there should be no resentment.
Yeah.
That okay, so you weren't talking to me all this time. Why are you showing? I don't. Come on, man. I mean, people are busy, and everyone's different. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, when we sort of came with the idea of starting a podcast together, I mentioned it to a few friends, and because they're familiar with you, they're familiar with the idea that there's this Humza in my life, best friend, and all that sort of stuff, and they were like, okay, so this is the one good thing that's going to come out of it is that you two are gonna grow, very close together and sort of build on the relationship that's kind of been stagnant all this time. If you feel that way, I was like, yeah, that's true, that's true.
Yeah, I
So,
get that. Yeah, that's very true. Actually, that's very true. And I don't know. I always think about this, and it's just kind of like popped into my head now that I don't know your life outside of our friends group that used to be in school. Like Sam, Shazib, you, Emma. Outside this, I don't. I mean, I don't think I've ever met your other mates, have I? Or like your other when you went university or like work or I know obviously like some of your cousins and I've met them and I know them reasonably well, but outside our friends group, I don't think I know your life. Do you know what I mean? It's weird to think that.
it's the same with me now that you mentioned it. But do you think the distance has anything to add to that? Because
Well,
I don't really know much about your friends there and
but
what's
kind
going on
of.
in your life.
That's I
Or
think.
it's just laziness on our part that we just don't discuss that sort of stuff. We just sort
Nah.
of
I don't think it's laziness or anything. I think even thing is even if we were in the same city, I feel like there's friends groups that don't. I'm a fan of like just having separate friends groups, and like just having separate. Like I have a separate kind of like vibe when I'm with. I hate using the word vibe, but I used it. Okay, so get over it. So I mean, I have a
I'm
different
already over it.
I'm gonna use it again, okay? I have a different vibe with like different friends group of mine. I have like a couple of friends groups. I have my old work colleagues. I have my university friends. I have my school friends. I have you guys, and I have like my friends, which I call the desi friends. Do you know? So it's like I have these different groups, which they have, I think maybe one or two of them have kind of like crossed paths, at like my, like a party or something that I've like hosted or whatever. But they're still very separate people, and whenever I'm with these different group of people, I'm a different. I wouldn't say I'm a different person. I'm very kind of like the same, but there's different. You can do different things with different groups of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, and we were actually discussing how I sort of make friends differently compared to my friend with whom I was having this conversation, and she was in a similar position to you, where she had like this big circle, people in different places, and she wouldn't necessarily hang out or ever hang out with all of them at the same time, but she had these different people who she would go to work with, or she would just go, clubbing with, or partying, whatever, all that sort of stuff. And what boiled down to is what the point was in the end, that people look for different things in different people. So it's very rare that you come across a person or a friend that sort of delivers on every level.
Yeah.
You find every single thing in them. So you need to sort of, because personalities are very diverse. So you have different wants and needs at different times based on moods and everything, and you need different people to accommodate for that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
I
I
think
feel
it's that's what's happening with you.
yeah, I think it's very important for my own sanity as well. Like I need kind of like a different. I need to portray. I wouldn't say a different personality, but a different kind of like side of myself to different kind of like groups, just for my own sanity. So I'm like at ease that I've kind of like touched on all of these kind of little things, and then I'm at peace. Do you know what I mean? And like my so Zaria's a big fan of like mixing groups and like having everyone know each other kind of thing, which is
I was
great.
just gonna ask you. I was just gonna ask you something relevant to this.
Really?
Okay, go on.
Okay, hold it. So yeah, I mean, just yeah, those are my points. Like she just loves, and because of her, like my uni mates have become like really close to her, and like her friends, and we're all in this like one group now, which is nice, and it's been very cool that we can like all do things together and everything. But I wouldn't want like all my friends all together all the time. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's way too overwhelming, and I like having different relationships with like individual groups, and even individual people as well. Like even within groups, I'll meet people separately just to build relationships individually. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's very important as well.
Okay, so what I was gonna ask you, and I think
Yeah.
you've kind of half answered it already,
Yeah.
is that if you have a work group,
Yeah.
a group of friends, yeah, okay, and one from uni or one from, I don't know, family friends or whatever,
Yeah.
if they mixed, would that give you anxiety?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
It would,
'Cause-
wouldn't you?
Yeah. Major
Okay,
anxiety.
so you just mentioned how like you don't necessarily want to behave differently, but I think we all do. We have these different sort of not to
Personas.
be all poetic, masks and personas that we put
Yeah.
on for different people.
Yeah,
And when
yeah,
it's
yeah.
two opposing groups that we act differently with or behave differently, like one's very formal, very reserved, and we talk about serious topics, and one's just like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon happening right at the other
Yeah,
end.
that's
And
exactly-
they mix, and you're just like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, and there's always been these like moments where I accidentally put on a different mask, as you say, with the wrong group, and I'm just like I was like, oh, hold on a second, that's I shouldn't have said that in this group. Because it
Do you know
doesn't
what's worse?
What?
When that sort of starts to happen when you start to date someone, and they're like, "What the fuck just happened? Who are you?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I need to behave a certain way right now with you." This sort of side of me comes on later on.
That's so weird. It's just such a weird thing. And the thing is, it's great when you can put on all masks for a single person or a group. And I feel like, obviously, I mean, I feel like that's very important for, like, let's say someone like your partner or something. So as you said, like dating, you'd first kind of like, that's what happened to me. Like, you always first kind of, the safest mask, the most kind of like, normal mask you put on, and you're like, you just slowly ease them into it, and slowly, day by day, you put on the
Yeah.
more freakier masks.
Insane mask. This is a mental asylum mask.
And then they realize what kind of freak you actually are. But coming back to the whole anxiety thing, like to be honest, I had that recently. It was my birthday in October last year, and everyone always it's around Halloween. And it's on Halloween.
It's on Halloween.
Yeah, it's on Halloween. I keep saying around it. It's on Halloween, all right? There's no hiding it. But my parents are big fans. I think my mates, my family, my mates, they're always like, oh, let's do like a Halloween party. I mean, I've never done anything like that. Because I'm just not a big fan of hosting parties. That gives me major anxiety. You know why? Because last year I did it. It wasn't a Halloween party, but it was just like I called everyone over to my place and like all these different groups of people. So they all like
Oh
mixed.
no.
And I think that was the first time where all these different groups of people have mixed. And I mean, obviously, people are split off in their own groups, and I would have liked if everyone's mingling because it makes my job easier. But it was just so. I had this major anxiety because you're just worried about, is that person okay? Is that person gonna be able to talk to this person? Is this or that? I can't. I don't know which face to put on today because should I be this kind of person, this kind of person? And it's just major anxiety. So I hate hosting to my core. If I host, I wouldn't mind if it's just like one group of people or like one or two, even one or two individuals. That would be my ideal kind of thing. Because I mean, we're both like homebodies. I like calling people over at home and just staying at home and just chilling, whatever. But big groups of people or like different groups of people. Oh my god, don't even get me started.
Yeah, no, I figured that out. I'm not sure if you remember, but it was my baby sister's birthday.
Oh yeah.
And you came over, all the friends came over. Basically, my mom just invited everywhere and just anyone she knew. And it was literally everyone. It was almost like a wedding scene going on because there was like 200 people in this one venue. And I was supposed to be with my friends from school and my cousins and the other cousins that my mom was forcing me to be around, but I don't like them enough. And all that sort of stuff was happening at the same time. I was like, oh my God, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when I realized, okay, mixing of groups is just bad. It's bad news.
And some people can do it. Like one of Zaria's mates, she is like, I mean, she meets the most randomest people ever, and like she kind of like her groups mix all the time, and like she enjoys that. And I'm like, I don't know how you can enjoy that. How can you enjoy that when I don't understand. Like, it's not fun. I look at her and I'm like, that looks painful. I feel sick to my stomach.
It sounds painful.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's that kind of cringy feeling that I get in my stomach. It's just like, oh, you know what I mean? But nah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
No, because I was just thinking the other day. I was at this event thing going on, this photo shoot that was happening for a brand.
Oh yeah.
And in it, I met I met a friend, and he said that this was the first time in 3 months he'd been out of the house, and he's the typical sort of growing up young guy who sort of has trouble communicating with people effectively and just has that sort of anxiety when dealing with having conversations and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so there's other people here that I need to converse with. If they weren't here, I would be exactly like you, because that's what's comfortable to me. Just not talking to anyone, just looking down at our phones, just talking. And yeah, your friend or Zaria's friend, that just sounds too painful, man.
Yeah. It is. I don't know how she does it, but I mean, props to her. She enjoys it, so whatever.
Exactly. No, it's impressive. It's really impressive.
But nah, I can't. I enjoy having separate groups, separate people, separate vibes. As I say. And
oh my God.
I forgot what this podcast was supposed to be on. To be honest.
It doesn't really matter.
I'm liking this direction. It's how's everything over there? It's so freaking hot over here, man. Like, it's 35 degrees right now. No AC, no nothing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's.
Is it 35?
Yes. What you mean? You think I'm lying?
Because I have the London temperature and time going on my phone at the same time simultaneously for Lahore.
Yeah, what is
it was 24 yesterday, and I was like, okay, so that's practically heaven. I go on Twitter and everyone's just fucking dying. You're dying at 24?
No, mate. You don't understand. But I mean, even 24 here is completely different. The sun is so strong. It's ridiculous. You're so sarcastic. What? Oh my God! You need to experience this heat, man. I'm baking. I'm absolutely.
It's 28 right now in London. Right now, at this point of talking, Humza, it's 35 where I am.
You liar.
It's 28. You can check later, but it is 28. I just did some multitasking, and it's gonna rain soon anyway, so you're fine. It's a fucking microwave
The
going
thing
on
is,
here for us.
I feel like when British people complain about the heat, everyone else in the world just remembers. You've watched The Inbetweeners, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene I think in the movie. I don't know if it's the first movie or the second movie, where it's a meme now where they come out of the airport and they're in Spain or whatever, and they're just like, oh, it's well hot. You know what I mean? And it's like, because that's
Yeah.
what British people do. They either complain about how hot it is, it's like, oh,
Or how
it's
cold it
baking.
is.
Yeah, or how
Or how
cold
much
it
it's
is.
raining.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, that's what happens. It's either so hot, or it's so freaking cold, or it's raining. And the thing is, sometimes it's all of the above at the same time.
Oh my god.
Mate, honestly,
I have a theory going on about why everyone in England is just so miserable all the time. You hear it from everyone who goes to London. It's like people just don't give a shit over there. If you're dying on the street, no one's gonna come help you. They're just so they're just so busy being miserable. And my theory revolves around the weather.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, more often you'd find these people in London. The people in London are the most miserable people I've ever met in my life. Me included, sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what it is. It's the city, man. It's depressing. And the thing is, nowadays, it's like warm and sunny and everything. I mean, it's too sunny, it's too hot. But when it's like 20, 25 degrees, those 2-3 weeks in a year when it's like perfect weather, you can see everyone's out, everyone's got their tops off. I mean, like, people love taking their tops off in London. I'm not talking about, obviously, I'm talking about the gross, actually, no, I want to retract that. I didn't mean.
Not the Victoria's Secret model.
No, I didn't. I didn't mean fat people are gross. I just
Okay.
meant like those big kind of like men, hairy men who just kind of like then become pink. Do you know what I mean? With sunburn, those kind
Right.
of like the really kind of like gross, kind of like quintessential British person, and it's like gross. Anyway,
Right.
well, I don't know what was my point, but anyway, London, yeah, a lot of people in London are miserable, and that's just is definitely due to the weather, and I don't know why. People just, I don't know, they just don't like being in the UK, I feel. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It might be the weather, it might be like interaction
Well,
with people. Every interaction I've had with someone in London has just been, they look like they want to kill themselves.
yeah, no, yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? It might be just London. The thing is,
So I've
outside
heard.
London, people are so friendly and nice, and I lived in Cardiff for a year, and I remember my first day when I moved there. I was like looking for, I don't know, I was parking my car and I was looking for like the parking meter or whatever, and I didn't look lost. I was just like walking in a direction to kind of try to find it, and this couple, this old elderly couple, looked at me and they just asked me if I needed some help, like randomly. And I was like, yeah, no, I was just looking for the parking meter. And then the woman showed me to the parking meter, and she asked me like, is it my first time in Cardiff? Like, what's happening? Are you okay? Do you need anything? And I was like, no, I'm fine. Yeah, it's my first day in Cardiff. I just moved here, whatever. And she was like, oh, if you need anything, you can do this and that, and I'll be happy to like give you my number. And I was like, what? I just met you. You have no idea who I am. I could be some weirdo off the street. But it was just so nice, you know what I mean? And you'd never find that in London. You'd never ever have that in London, which is a shame. I don't know. To be honest,
Well,
there might be, some people like that, but not that I've seen.
yeah, no, I have a few sort of, thoughts about that going on, but let's just save that for
Oh
another
yeah,
day.
shit! It's already
Um,
it's already 30
Yeah,
minutes.
it's almost
What?
time. Yeah, we're almost a minute left till we have to
Okay.
end this. Keep it sort of we want people to listen to this, not just run away when they see.
Yeah,
Oh, shit,
the thing
it's
is,
53
I
minutes
was I was
again.
looking at the stats of like the YouTube and the Spotify and everything, and the thing is, the sad thing is that people were listening for the first 5 minutes, and then they shut off. The most traffic on the podcast was like first 5 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, like loads of people listened all the way through as well, but majority of people were like, at,
That was probably me.
yeah, yeah, there was like 2 people who listened all the way through, me and you.
Well, so this one's for all the people who just stayed for 5 minutes. Hopefully they stayed for
Yeah, it's
25
the
more.
beginning, the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. People are interested in, and not the middle.
Exactly. But hopefully, from next week we can sort of do this more regularly, and we'll have proper topics. We had a proper topic today as well, but I think we're just gonna save it for next week.
We hadn't kind of like talked in a while, and this was a bit of kind of like it's been like 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
it's like
this was-
catching up. How's everyone doing, kind of thing. A little bit about our childhood.
It's in the last podcast. I think one of the criticisms I got was just that we're. It was so obvious that both of us just don't like talking about ourselves.
Really?
Because we started off introducing each other, and then we just introduced nothing or told anything about ourselves, and just went straight into the topic.
Yeah, I
So
don't
people
know.
were like, okay, yeah, it's so obvious.
I was like, the thing is, I was making an active. I don't know whether it's good to be like basically tell everything, like who I am, where I'm from, what I do day to day. I feel like people will discover that as they kind of like listen in. I don't want to be
Exactly.
forced. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like it'll come out now. You know a bit about her childhood. You're welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. More information for your brain to process that you probably didn't need.
Ramish
Could have done without.
Ramish was an aspiring singer. I played the guitar. It was like we were One Direction before One Direction was a thing. All right.
Exactly. And you had the Justin Bieber haircut before he did. So.
We both did. Okay. Those fringes were so in. We made them, man. And this was in Pakistan, all right? We were
think
at
it
the
was-
forefront of fashion, but nobody knew.
I swear to God. It's just because we saw High School Musical and Zac Efron was doing it. I'm like, okay, we need to do
We were
this as
so
well.
impressed by High School Musical.
It was either that or Sweet Life on Deck, or what was that?
So
What was the other one?
yeah, Sweet Life of Zach Cody and
That one, that's the one.
Yeah.
They had that hair as
Yeah,
well.
they did.
Everyone had that hair,
I-
except for, all of Pakistan and just us two.
man, we were so cool. Okay.
We were so cool.
Oh, all right.
But, well, I think we should wrap it up for now.
Yeah, well, we wanted to kind of like bring in our little last 5-minute feature called Tiwubber. But
Tiwubber.
But I think we'll just give a brief kind of like explanation of what that is. Maybe we'll do it next week because it's already 30 minutes and I don't want to bore you guys for too long. So Tiwubber, basically.
So, what does TWABber stand for, Hamza?
Yeah, Tiwubber is things I was annoyed about recently. So that abbreviates to Tiwubber, and we want to kind of like just give you guys a bit of a what annoyed us recently because we're fairly cynical people, so we have a lot that annoys us, and I thought that'd be kind of, I mean, like, that was Ramish's idea. I don't want to take credit for it. So Ramish thought that
It's okay.
yeah, no, it was my idea. We both thought that it'd be a good idea to kind of like do that at the end of the podcast every week and see what you guys think. But yeah, that's enough of that. And yeah, we'll save it for next week. What do you think, Ramish?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think next week sounds good.
Okay, definitely next week, yeah?
Definitely next week.
Okay, we'll see.
But then, we'll see. I won't ignore your text anymore.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. Okay, cool. Thanks you guys for listening, and hopefully we'll be back next week.
Yeah, see you in the next one.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Bye.